Good morning. You are live. This pops up. Here we go. Welcome, Matt here, Solvent. Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Can only mean one thing. It's time for the restart. It's time to create that moment in time where I look back and see how I'm tracking. I've been doing my daily discipline this week. Accounts have been a lot of activity through the accounts. Bit of trouble balancing everything up because I missed a day. And that kind of like goes, and there was things happened through the week and I had to deal with that, and that was okay. Sat down, got the transactions, could see what's in the bank, what's in Solvent, matched the two together. We're now back in sync, tracking every day. And today is the day that I need to sit down and check on the progress. Last week, we created a spending plan. We used a spending analysis to show what I'd spent over the last 30 days by category. And then inside that category is a lot of transactions. After the webinar last week, I did my spending analysis. I created the plan. I worked out what it is that I wanted to spend, and I pushed that through to a plan for June. So we're now 6 days into June. My job after this webinar is to go in there, check the spending plan, find out how I'm tracking. If everything's okay, then my job's done. If it's not, if something's come up, if the numbers are out, which there probably will be following the start of this month, then that means I can then reassess, work out what needs to be done, move some things around, and do my best to keep my cash flow manageable. This is me starting to live on purpose. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be things that are out of place, and that's fine. The reason for Solvent is not to fix all my problems. It's to show me what the problems are so I know what to do about them. Because awareness creates choice, shame and guilt doesn't. So it doesn't matter what's gone on. I don't care. It's happened. It's done. Right? What's the picture? Where are we going? What are we going to do from here going forward? And that's all we want to do. We want to create a moment in time where we create a pause, we create this moment, we look back to learn, and then we go, right, what are we going to do next? Let's go. Let's head off in that direction. And away we go. So I'm particularly unscripted today. I've had a lot going on this week. There's a lot going on in the business. And usually what happens is things come to me and it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, I've got this direction and I know what it is I'm going to talk about. Today, I haven't got a clue. Today I'm here. This is a genuine restart. I've got to that point. It's been one of those weeks. I need to look back to learn. What has happened. What impact has it had on me? That's what I can learn today. That's what I can sit down, assess, and make a conscious plan going forward that says, well, this is what I want to do about it. So last week, like I say, we did spending plans and spending analysis. This week, I want to get back onto the free plan focus. And I'm aware that when we did the time blocks, we looked at the freelancer the freelancer and business timer, but we didn't show the free plan. So I want to show you the timer. We'll go through the time blocks. I'll show you the calendar integration because that's there too. And then we're going to look at debts and goals. Goal accounts and debt accounts. I think that'll do for today. Sounds about right. Do we need the timer? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, we'll see. Let's give it a go. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put my screen on stage and we'll have a look. Let's see where we end up. I've got the accounts open. All right, so this is my webinar account. I've been running my transactions every day in here. My wages haven't come in yet. So you will see that I'm in negative balance, but that's nothing to worry about. I'm not stressed about that because I know through my cash flow diagram that I got last week, while I'm negative now, the wages will go in and that will put me back into the positive. So it's not a problem. This can become an overdraft thing and we can actually add that as an account if we wanted to. So what we'll do today, let's add some debt accounts. Right, well, let's actually add that overdraft account. Overdraft, yeah. It's a debt account. It's actually on the checking account. Oh, but really it's not credit card yet. It's on the checking account. And it's with, we did ASB last week, didn't we? Let's do Westpac this week. Westpac, and the current balance is, I'll have to do it that way, won't I? We haven't really got an overdraft facility on this, so I don't know how this is going to work, but let's put negative 1086.41. Yep. Okay, let's add that account. Okay, so this is balancing from here, right? Reason that I've done this like this is because we can transfer between the accounts. I'm going to show you the transfers as well, but let's just add some more accounts on here. Let's do a Gem Visa. This is a debt account. It's a credit card account, and the institution is Gem Finance, and the current balance is $9,648, and the credit limit is 10 grand. Why wouldn't it be just about maxed, eh? Interest rate is 18.99%. Add the account. Right, let's have a bank loan. Bank loan. Right. Debt account thingy, loan, institution. Who haven't we done? Kiwi Bank. We're spreading the love. No advertising here. Nobody backs us. It doesn't matter what we add on here. We could add Jim Smith's bank for all we care there. This is a personal loan. The current balance is 15,123, and the original loan amount was for $20,000, and the interest rate is 14%, 14.7%. Right, personal loan. Right, now I've got some debt. My debt accounts: bank loan, overdraft, Gem Visa. Right, so next, let's look at debt on here, and let's add some minimum payments for it first of all. Right, so that didn't come on there. Let's change that. Let's go back and change that account, see if we can make that personal account into a overdraft. Let's not make this a checking account. Let's make it a debt account. Oh yeah, so it's got debt on there, so it's this one. So let's put that on the loan, because that's what it is, isn't it? Westpac, original balance, let's say it's a $5,000. It's a $5,000 overdraft. Yeah, right. And the interest rate is low on them, isn't it? 8% will do. Fucking that. Doesn't really matter. I just want to see it on my debt screen. I want it in here. There it is. Right. So now we've got some debt. And what we've got to do now is we've got to add some minimum payments in. So we'll come in here, and we've got our, that was 20 grand. That hasn't saved. I'll look at that. But we've done that. Our minimum payment on our loan is $483.95. It's due on the 1st. That's fine. Right. Overdraft. Edit. This works slightly different, doesn't it? So I've probably naffed this up, but hey, who cares? Because you don't really have a minimum payment on your overdraft, do you? You're just doing it, but you get a charge for it at the end of the month. So that's, let's put $50. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's probably a bad example I pick here. Whatever your debts are, though, this is where you're putting them in. Interest rate 19%. Minimum payment $250. Update the debt. Right. So now we've got 3 cards. Got our picture snapshot here. So what we can do, in the dashboard, we've got these tabs here. Yeah, so we've got our snowball. So debt snowball, take the smallest amount, take the smallest debt, take the minimum payment, pay everything that you've got off that debt. Once that debt's gone, you pay minimum payment on everything else. Once that debt's gone, you take all of the money that you've been paying off that, you put it onto the next lowest debt. pay that one off, take all that money, put it onto the next one. That's the snowball. Each time the minimum payment gets bigger, right? So we're paying off here at, using the snowball, we're paying off 45 months debt-free, March 2030, right? So let's compare the debt snowball with the debt avalanche. Highest interest rate first. That's where you work out what's the biggest interest rate and you pay that off and you go first. Right. Both methods are nearly identical, but the snowball is recommended for psychological wins. Right. We're not financial advisors. This is just what happens. In my world, I do better if I can see that I'm winning. So if I pay the smallest one off first, then I've got one less debt. That means that I'm winning. If I'm paying the one with the biggest interest off first, that might be my $20,000 bank loan. Well, it's going to take me ages to pay off my $20,000 bank loan. So I have to stay focused without a win until I've paid that thing off. So it depends upon how you work as to what works best. But then we've got what if scenarios. Okay, so what if I was able to pay an extra $500 a month? Okay, well, now I'm debt-free 21 months faster. If I go and do that on the snowball, let's look at this. I can do this to my particular debt. So then that's like $500 there. Then that now changes to 24 months. What if I can make that 250? Then it's 31 months. So I can play around with my numbers and I can come up with a plan using what if scenarios and come up with an idea. I can compare which strategy works better for me. This is because there's not many interest rates on the system, I would imagine. So each debt, there's only this one that's got 15%. Oh yeah, no, we've got them on there. So it looks like there's very little difference between the two as to which one works out better, but very nearly the same. Okay, so that's how we create debt. That's how we use the debt dashboard. Create a plan. Then what we can do is we can use that into our spending plan, and we can take that extra money that we've just allocated there, that we've found for our debts. We've worked out what debt we're going to pay it on. We can then go and add that into our spending plan, and away we go. Each month we're chipping away, and we keep an eye on everything that's going on. So that's paying off debt. Now, law of attraction, we don't always want to focus on debt because then that's what we're going to create. So we need something to focus on that's positive. Yeah, so what about some goals? Well, so if we look at some goal accounts, okay, we're going to create our first goal account. Okay. Heads up, retirement calculator comes on the personal plan, not on the free plan. But this is let's do an emergency fund. An emergency fund goal. And the target amount is $1,000. Yeah. So retirement plan is not on the free plan. Reason being, if I'm trying to get out of this hole here with all that debt, I don't want to be focused on retirement because I need all that money to get rid of the debt, because the interest rate that I'm accumulating on the debt will never be as good as the interest rate that I get from investing my money. So my better plan is to get rid of all of the debt first. We meet you where you are. You don't need to be worried about retirement right now. You need to be digging yourself out of this hole. Retirement is something that we're just not thinking about in this space. When you're ready to think about retirement, that's when the personal plan comes in. And then you can start focusing in a different area. Your mindset, you're going somewhere else. You're looking forward. You're not looking to dig yourself out of the hole. So that's the idea. Let's say we want to have our... now I get it. Okay, so can I do that or two? Right, this is a bug. Somebody told me about this the other day. Can't put the date into the future. Right, I get it. So I'm going to put that on there and I'm going to fix this. Oh, there we go. I've got past it. There it is. Look, there's a little... That's bad. Okay, August. Okay, there's July. Right, so those little buttons on the side there. Okay, I'll get that feedback going on because that's not great. Okay, so I want it by the end of July. Right. Link to a savings account. I haven't done this. I didn't set my account up. Right, let me go do that. Right, accounts. because I'm doing a goal, we want to go add account. Yeah, it's a savings account. This is called emergency fund. I forgot to do this. Emergency fund. Right. Savings. This is with BNZ today. Current balance is 0, right? Because we're saving it up. Now, goals. Create my first goal. This is my emergency fund. And I want to create an emergency fund because I want to break my dependence on credit cards. This is Dave Ramsey stuff, right? Get that there. That's there, look. Boom. July, end of July, on $1,000. I'm going to link that to my emergency fund. Category savings. Let's make it, yeah, purple's fine. Description, save $1,000 to break dependency on credit cards. Right, why is this important to me? I want to become debt free. Right, vision board image is only it's only link at the moment. So you have to get you have to have a link to do it. So let's go debt free. It's not quite debt free yet, but all I want is I just want an image. Let's look at that. Doesn't matter. Copy link. We're not using this anywhere, so copy image link into here. Solvent. Paste that in there. Debt free. There we go. Priority high. Right. Create goal. Yeah, you'd pick your link. You can get it from Facebook. Any of the images that you've saved, you can get your link from there. But that's where we're heading. So now what we end up with is we've got a constant reminder here, and we can add, and our progress will come along here. So if we were to add funds to this account, contribution amount, let's start off with $25. Okay, where did this contribution come from? Deposits from the webinar. Right. Okay, add contribution. Right. %3 complete. So this is now going to track it. So every time that I put money in here, then I'm going to track it. So at the start of the month, I've done my spending analysis. I've got everything there. I know that I haven't got a lot of money to put into my fund because I'm focused on the debt and I'm trying to get rid of the debt. But this is still an important thing. So we need to get rid of that. What we can do, transactions. We're going to add a transaction and we're going to do a transfer. Right? We're going to transfer from the personal account to the emergency fund. We're going to go, just give it a name so we know what we're doing. Savings, we've got to put an amount in there. That helps, doesn't it? Let's do $20 at the transaction. And this now keeps all of my accounts up to date. So in here now, if I go back to my goals account, I'm in here, $45, 5% complete, where we go. So I get to see, I'm focused now on something positive. I'm getting in there. I've got my debt. My debt calculators are working in here. I can set these and forget them. That's what I want to do in here, is I want to set this and forget. But in the same way, if I ever make a payment when I'm tracking my transactions, when I come to track my transactions at the end, and it goes out the bank, and the bank might say Gem Visa. So if that says Gem Visa, I'm going to put $250, but I'm not. I'm going to do it as a transfer. Sorry, I'm going to do a transfer from my personal account to my Gem account. And then that way, that's going to keep up that, it's going to keep those accounts in sync. So, and the interest rate doesn't calculate in that, you know, you're always going to get a different amount on your statement, but it gives you a ballpark figure as to where you are, and you can see the impact of what the interest rate is on the account. At some stage, we might look at adding the interest to it and calculating it properly, but I don't quite know how they do it yet, to be honest. It just seems to me that they just take what they want and they'll pay a bit off the principal and then they take the rest in interest, just depending on how they feel on the day. Seems to be. I haven't worked out the system because I'm not a finance guy. But hey, you know, I'm a guy that's built this. Oh, I'll tell you what we didn't see. We didn't see Pocket, did we? So now we're here. Let's look at Pocket. Yeah, get Solvent Pocket. This is a great little tool. Build in the moment in time. The idea this looks funny is because this is designed for the phone. So the idea being on your phone, log into Solvent, go to /Pocket, right? I'll click that link, and what it's going to look like, let's get it up on the phone. There we go. Right, close that. Right, it looks like this on your phone. So then what you do is, as you go now, this is our moment in time that we're creating. We're at the supermarket, we've gone on the supermarket, we've done all of our shopping, everything's in the trolley, pull out the phone, what's the bill? All right, $384, right, 384.19. Select category, groceries. Yeah, it's coming out of the personal account. Everyday check. Yeah, add the expense. Boom, I'm done. That now instantly links up with Solvent. So the idea of Pocket is you open the link in your web browser and then you click your little share button. And if you click share, you can go add to home screen. You add it to your home screen and then you'll get a little icon on the phone and you just have to click that icon. I have it set up in the middle of my phone there. I click it, I open it, bang, bang, bang. There's my moment in time created. Now at checkout, I know exactly what I've spent in that moment. What I don't know is what that was, you know, I don't necessarily know how that is based upon the spending analysis. Maybe I've got an idea because if I'm tracking this stuff, I should know, you know, but at this moment in time, well, how does that impact on what I can spend? So let's go and check that. And then on the weekly basis, we then go have a look. Well, we spent that on shopping. That's fine. I know about that because I was there in the moment. And just to complete the loop, let's go back. Close that. Oh, I need to get out of this thing now, don't I? Inspect. Right, yeah, just close that. What's going on here? Oh, I've gone to the wrong thing. Right, not Pocket. I want to go back. Right, so now in transactions, if I go all time here, let's go personal account. That isn't linked. It does link. Why is that not linked? You refresh. Did I do that today? Well, it's not restart Saturday at 9 if something doesn't go wrong, is it? Okay. So let's check this again. Pocket. Okay, so I've gone to Pocket. I need to do the branding on this. Okay. Groceries. Yeah. Let's do 258. So it's a different number. Business current, I want it to be on everyday check. Yeah, everyday check, add expense. Right. One queued. Maybe it just hasn't updated yet. Maybe I'm just impatient. Oh, there they are, look. Both of them have gone. Pocket expense. It's gone in yesterday. So there's my two transactions. So you can see that this is updating. It is updating. in real time. It goes through and adds it to that category. Yeah. So there should be a place. It's in the mobile app. Okay, so there's a bit of work for me to do here, but the principle is there. You can see it working. I'm out about. I've got a pocket in my phone. I create the moment in time by when I'm spending the money, entering the transaction. This is going to enable me to be able to build a conscious relationship with money. Okay. So time's pushing on, but let's have a quick look at the timesheet. We talked about the timer. So when Solvent first started, the reason that it got back on track was because my son needed a timer for during the day. He was out and about. He was finding he was finding his timesheet unmanageable. The pay lady was chasing him around at the end of the week. Where's your timesheet? So we built him a timer. Okay, so we can start and stop the timer. We can log in. And again, this works in the same way as Pocket. If this is something that you're using, then you can download this. You can go to this link in your phone, on the browser, add to home screen, and then you can have a little timer. And this is what Leon used to do. He would open the timer up, click his app, start, and then he would add this, and he could add his address that he was on here. You know, he was going around doing gardens at the time. So he added his address in here, 123 Main Street. Yeah. And then he's finished that and he stops that. And then he goes again, he gets to his next one, and it starts again. And this time it's 128 Main Street, because it's just down the road. So that was nice and quick. Yeah. And then he does that. And then I can't type, but who cares? And then we do that. And then he goes again. And this time he's at 1 Second Street, because he gets about a bit, because that's just what he does. Oops, didn't do that. 1 Second Street. There he goes. Stop that. And then his boss bollocks him because he's not spending enough time at each place, but that's fine. You know, and then it comes to the end of the week and he can generate his timesheet. So he clicks generate timesheet. That comes through and it will populate all of his dates on there. So that's the idea of the free timer. It's a very basic thing, but it does allow you to add multiple entries at any time. At the end of the week, you can generate your timesheet and you can download this as a PDF. If you need to get it signed off by anybody, you can do that on your phone. Click that. And that, so like I say, that works in the same principle, where you visit the link /timesheet, or you go to your Solvent dashboard, click timesheet, your little share button, the box with the arrow usually pops up in the browser in the URL tab, address bar, and then you would click that, add to home screen, and then you've got a nice PWA that sits on your phone with an application. So that is the timesheet. Yeah, I can just close out of here, isn't it? That's what I need to do. Right, time blocks. Time blocks have helped me how I help to plan my week. Okay, got my daily tasks going on. I can move these around. We did this the other day, so we can add a task, whatever that needs to be. I added the monthly repeat this block. We've now got monthly, which we didn't have when we did the business timer. So we've got the monthly. We can set all that up. That works nicely. I've got a monthly task in here, which was on the 1st, I think. Nope, offset task, daily task. Oh, maybe I didn't have a monthly task because, because I've only got daily. Okay, so let's do that one. Yeah, monthly task number 1. Yeah, it's going to be an hour. It's going to be on a Saturday. Start time is going to be 12 o'clock, which is after I've done my thingy. It's a learning thing, and it's the webinar. And let's repeat the block monthly. We want to repeat it. Do I want to repeat it on the day, or do I want to repeat it on the month? So the 6th Saturday of each month, or do I want to repeat it on the first? The first. Yeah, do the first Wednesday. That's fine. Add the recurring block. Away it goes. That's in the past. So let's go forward. Dink, 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 dink. This is the first Wednesday of the month. There's my monthly task. Restart webinar. It pops up once a month. Everything goes nicely on there. Okay, the note feature down here is for if you've got any reminders and things like that. I use this all the time. If I need to remember to do something, but I don't want to create a time block for it, I add it into the notes down here. This is a reminder. Remember, because we want to focus on remembering, not on forgetting. So remember, that goes on there. It's not this week. Yeah, it's not the week after. You know, it's just on that week. So that gives me, again, create a moment in time. There's a moment in time. Remember this. Excellent. Final thing I want to show, we've got the calendar here. This can integrate with Google. All right. Any appointments that we get on here, these show up as time blocks. So I've got my today's events here. If I've got anything in my calendar, it will show up on my time blocks as an uneditable event, so that I know in my time block, I can see it, it's in my calendar. I can't edit it from my time blocks because I don't want to be able to do that. If I want to edit it, I want to edit it in the calendar because that's where the appointment was created. So that's the idea. It will appear as a different colored task. It appears as a blue background. And the way that we integrate the calendar, at the moment it's on Google, we go into settings, we go integrations and connect Google Calendar. If we connect the calendar, we're going to go through and we're going to have to get our account up and link it up. You just go through the authorization process, you come back and it's all linked, and you will then see your things in there, and then you can manage your integration in here. It'll have a little sync button. You can sync at any time, click, and away you go. All righty. I think that's enough for today. We've done what we set out to do. We've done debts. Let me stop this share. Remove. We've done debts. We've done goals. We've done time blocks. We've done timer. We've done calendar. It's kind of a lot of stuff going on there. But we've put it all in here together. How it works. We've done Pocket. That was important. Pocket's a great tool. So these are the little things, you know, the key for Solvent, you know, is we see all these things. Now it's not a magic answer. It doesn't suddenly fix everything, and all of a sudden it's not going to solve all my problems, you know, but what it will do is it will show me what those problems are, so I can make a conscious decision that says, well, this has happened. This is the impact that it's had. What do I want to do about it? And that's what Solvent is. Solvent is about changing behavior, moving forward. You know, we look back to learn. We don't care what's happened. We just know that it's happened. This is where we're at today, because every decision that we make in the past is what brings us to where we are today. Now we know where we are today. What do we want to do about it? You know, we can't do anything about yesterday, but what's happened. That doesn't matter. But we can look at it and learn. Do we want to repeat this behavior? Do we want to do the same thing again? Let's put it on next month's plan. If we don't want to do it again, let's watch and see when it comes up. You know, monitor the behavior daily. Create that moment on a daily basis that then compounds into a weekly check-in where we could look back to learn, see where we are. Do we need to make any adjustments? Let's make those adjustments and watch for the next week. What happens during that week? Well, every day, check my amounts. I can see that happening. I get an idea of where I'm heading. On a Saturday, let's have a look. What was the impact of that idea that I had where I was heading? Am I on track? Am I going in the right way? Let's find out. So that's it for today. Next week, we will probably look at investments, because that's the other thing that we haven't done yet. So we've got all the investment stuff in here. And again, this is a pro feature. You know, Solvent is going to meet you where you are. If you're in a hole, let's get you out of that financial hole. I'm never going to ask you for your credit card if money is your problem, right?
But if you're ready to look at other things, once you're in a hole and you're digging out of a hole, you need a free account. You don't need any guilt, you don't need any shame, you don't need any padlocks. You need to be able to use this account in order to be able to get yourself out, see the light. You've got a goals account, you've got debt accounts, you can create a plan, you've got spending analysis, you've got a spending plan, you've got your transactions, you can track everything, and you can live deliberately to get out of this hole. Once you're out of the hole and you've got a bit of freedom and you've got a bit of breathing space and things aren't quite as manic, then you can start thinking about things like retirement, investments, and stuff like that. And that's why we don't add that stuff to the free plan. Don't want to distract you. Don't want to overwhelm you with things that you don't need. Right now, let's meet you where you are and give you the tools that you need to help. All right. When you get to the next level, let's upgrade. Let's get you there, and then let's get you the tools that you need to help. Let's change the focus a little bit. And build. Let's build deliberately together. One day at a time. All right. My name's Matt from Solvent. Love to hear from you. Get in touch. This is great. I enjoy being here, but I hate being here. And it's all good. Thank you very much for your time. See you next week. Goodbye.